Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joel Duggan and this is the Friday LEGO Let's Chat. It doesn't happen every Friday, but it happens more Fridays than not. This is where we just hang out, talk about anything we want, and build a LEGO set. It lasts a couple of weeks. The last time we did this, it was the LEGO Game Boy, and it was only a 2-week build because it was only about 400 and something pieces. This is the Darth Vader Lego helmet set, and it is 834 pieces, set 75304, and so this should be probably about 4 weeks. I imagine it'll take us through the rest of December, which is very cool. So I'm excited for this because this has been on my list for a little while, and I was able to pick it up on Black Friday. There is a link in chat to the set on lego.ca, as well as an Amazon affiliate link. If you like the set a lot and you want to support me, you can just pick it up on Amazon for yourself. I did get it on sale on Black Friday, and I should note that it is also a discontinued set. They are not making any more of these. So I was really happy to pick it up on Black Friday. I was not expecting to. It just kind of showed up on Amazon. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I've been watching that for a while. So it was good to pick it up. Blue, your first time catching a LEGO stream. That's awesome. Cosmic, thanks for the lurk. SweetSandi, good to see you. Dan, as always, hello, hello. So I've been trying all week to make some updates behind the scenes, and I managed to back up my computer last night. I'm going to switch over to Windows 11, I think, today, and then install a new video card, which is out of reach, but I will let you know that it is the AMD 9060 XT. So we're switching from NVIDIA to an AMD Radeon, and the price was just too good to pass up. I've been looking to upgrade the computer for a while, and I'm hoping that over the holidays we can play some games that are not Minecraft. I mean, I enjoy Minecraft, and we are going to be playing a lot of it, but I think it'll be great to expand the repertoire a little bit, and some of the new games are taxing from my old 1660. Let's see here. This is an older box, so we might have to... Let's do top, I guess. How do you get into this without destroying it? I guess back here. Ah, yes. Found the glue. They're a little trickier to get into, but I much prefer these than the boxes that they want you to punch holes in. I think that's how it's supposed to do it. For people that don't know, I use the boxes around the studio for decoration. Yep. Blast Jordan subscribing at tier 1, 30 months. The big 3-0. That's amazing, Blast Jordan. Thank you ever so much. And this could be trickier to get into than I thought. That feels pretty open. Oh, there we go. This tab is longer than I thought. Success. I don't know if I've seen one of these in a long time. Making our packaging more sustainable. That's an old one. Gasp. A lot of black pieces. Surprise. Well, there's not that many bags. 5 in total. One tiny little sticker sheet. This is just a hunch, but my guess is that there's going to be a few black pieces, just as a bit of foreshadowing. I have more of these than I know what to do with. And I'm starting to get more cyan tools. I used to have all orange, but now I've got multicolor. I have 2 other helmet sets. I've got the Princess Leia helmet from Return of the Jedi, and I have the Luke Skywalker helmet from A New Hope, the X-Wing pilot helmet. I wanted the TIE Fighter one, but they discontinued it before I could pick it up. We are obviously building this from the ground up. Very much looks like part of the base. More colorful pieces than you expected, Blue Crow? Low 88 subscribing with Prime. 26 months. That kicked off a hype train. Thanks very much, Low. Appreciate that. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to jump in on the level 1 hype train, folks. It's a tier 1 sub, gift sub, or 100 bits. Nadila, you love stickers? They are the bane of my existence. So these sets always have some colorful pieces inside of them, which is cool. The real fun part is when you get like little sets like this. Pardon the dust. But like this little Darth Vader, there's like a pink piece right where his brain would be, and then there's all the kinds of different colors inside. So Lego has some fun with the helmets and the guts of these things. I think it's part of the experience too, right? Yeah, I'll do my best with the glare, but unfortunately there's not always. So my Lego table is up against a wall, so I can't have a light shining this way because there's just no room to put one. Oh yeah, the inside color pieces are fun, Blue. It's always a nice touch. Three. Not exactly straight, but we'll get there. We do win. Level 2 hype train. 500 bits from Sandy. Thanks so much, Sandy. And Adila with 100 bits. Thank you very, very much. And that is a level 1 hype train complete. So my microphone is in a weird spot today. It's kind of in the way. Yeah, that's really not straight. After crafting and placing nearly 68,000 buttons, we finally have good Weather Skelly spawns on the Patreon server. That's amazing, Lo. Holy crap. You're talking about, is it Endervale? Is that the name of it? Right? I'm assuming you're talking about my Patreon server. Enderglade. Sorry, I always get that wrong. Yeah, for folks wondering, Enderglade is the community Minecraft server that some folks from my Patreon community play on, and it sounds like there is a few buttons now placed. Lo, was it all you? Was it all you that did the Patreon button placing? Or did you have help? Stuff is always tricky. Placed all the buttons. Sandy did most of the tree farming. Okay. Lots of ancient Debbie mines? Oh, debris. Ancient debris mines. That was a really weird delay on the hype train emote. Apparently I have all of them. Turn button crafting into an art. Second nature, and you can now do it in your sleep. Yeah, totally. If you build it such that it mostly overlaps with the Soul Sand Valley and Warp Forest, the spawn-proofing part is so much easier, as a 5x5 grid of lanterns is enough to stop ghasts and skeletons from spawning. That's cool. Normally I have these things more aligned, but we're off the grid today. I know I've talked about getting a mat that has a grid on it, but I feel like it would be a little bit distracting. Things would be straighter, that's for sure. Actually, you know. Sometimes there's just weird little holes that you have to fill. They have to. Strongly compelled to. Now we get to the fun parts. Oh, look. Ta-da. Yeah, there's definitely some unusual pieces, Sandy. I agree. Some of these I think are going to be more for like, I mean, this is obviously the base. I do remember when you build these things that you tend to build the helmets from the ground up. They don't really kind of start in any weird order. So this will be the base. These will be the Technic supports that could probably go up through the middle of it. But then there's also a little plaque at the front. I didn't see the piece for it. I'm assuming it's a pre-printed. It might be in the next bag. But some of the hinge pieces are definitely like setting the groundwork for that plaque to attach to the bottom of it. I'm trying to remember. I think the Luke Skywalker one has a plaque at the bottom. The thing about having not many bags, it usually means that with 800 pieces, there's going to be a lot of small pieces. That is bag one ready to go. Dad from Bear subscribed to tier 1, 40 months. That's another person celebrating a big 0 today. We had 30 earlier and 40 now. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Oh wow. I don't remember when this set actually came out. Presenting one of the latest additions to the LEGO Star Wars Helmets collection. Some of our favorite Star Wars characters have the most profound, intimidating on-screen presence, despite the fact that you cannot see their facial expressions, or maybe that's exactly why. We hope you'll enjoy recreating all of the intricate details that brought the original designs to life at a scale that's easy to put together, practical to display, and beautiful to look at. You don't know the power of the dark side. The Darth Vader helmet, a dark, towering shadow. Darth Vader emerges from a cloud of blaster smoke in Star Wars: A New Hope. This is a terrifying force of evil. His helmet epitomizes his transformation from Jedi to the dark side and his redemption when he lets Luke Skywalker detach it. Years later, it serves as a cherished, albeit gravely damaged, relic for his grandson Kylo Ren. As any wonder, it's one of our favorites. That's cool. So obviously it came out after the sequels. I prefer when the sets don't give you like the what it's gonna look like right away. Kind of spoilery. Find a way to keep it open. Right, away we go. One of these. So much of it in my head is just like, this black piece attaches to that black piece. And so on and so on. Uh-oh. Wrong length. There we go. Oh, don't worry about stuff like that, Blue. One of the best ways to support your favorite creators is just be in their streams, tell friends about it. I mean, obviously, I very much appreciate folks that support me financially, but I did this for the longest time without any support, so it's more about entertaining people and sharing the experience and providing that level of entertainment. And I find that anecdotally, I feel like I have I've talked to people that have become, you know, folks that support the Spawn Chunks, for example, because they listened to us all through university, like all through college. And they, again, as a student, didn't have a lot of money, so they never were able to financially support. But then they get out into the world with a job, and they're like, you know what? I've been listening to the Spawn Chunks for 5 years. I should join the Patreon. And I mean, it's such a great way to do that. So we play, you know, both myself and Johnny on the Spawn Chunks, and then myself here on my own channel. We play the long game. You know, like it's more about providing consistent, long-term entertainment and a good community, and that eventually it's just a numbers game. You know, like if between 1 and 5% of the people that watch your content support you, then you just have to make sure that the number of people that watch your content is a big number, right? So that's why I'm always saying that I'm trying to grow the channel, because I know that statistically somebody out there will decide to support. Very sturdy base. 3 of those. Why is the side open? Sometimes the steps are in an odd order. Looks right to me. I'm sure this is so we can fit in some supports. I do remember structurally that these were really cool sets. Really? I do have to remember from time to time on stream to rotate it around so people can see, because sometimes top down is not the best. Something that I'd like to do when the budget allows, and it might soon, because if I get a new phone, then I could use my old phone as a second camera. I'd love to have another camera angle like coming in down sideways and put like a little thumbnail, like probably like down here. There's never much going on in the lower right hand corner, so it would be kind of cool to have like a little picture in picture down here. You could see like a different angle or something. Don't forget providing inspiration. Yeah, of course. I don't know about the ads, Blue Crow. If you're in a country that doesn't allow ads from Twitch, then I don't know if the streamer gets any support. I know if you're watching and you've got Turbo, that the streamer still gets support. It's very similar to YouTube Premium that way. It was like that. That. Grab these two. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. This goes down like that. And then this pin goes in from the side. And it's wobbly right now, but it will eventually get stuck. That keeps the pin in. Builds up the other side. And this might tighten this up a little bit. these. And these two. Last night I started the Spawn Trunks episode 1. Oh my gosh, you're going back and listening to the whole archive? Yeah, it's definitely a news show. So what I usually encourage people to do with the Spawn Trunks, if you've not listened, is listen to the most recent episode, which would be 378. That's going to cover the news from this past week. And then in between episodes, because we only release on Mondays, you can always go back and listen to the archive. All right, I think that's right. Right to me. And they go like this. Nope. Backwards. This goes here. There's still a tiny bit of left to right. Movement on the Technic pieces. Need one of these. This goes on the back. You didn't know that Wells was our first guest until yesterday? Nice. Wish I could do that, but my brain doesn't do podcasts with no video. When you play Minecraft, throw it on in the background while you're playing Minecraft. Then you create the video. And these go here. What's cool about this, of course, is that it's going to be very symmetrical, if not perfectly symmetrical, the whole way up. I do like these little kind of sub builds where like you kind of put together something unique for a very specific situation. This is probably going to help with this back and forth of the Technic pieces in the middle. These extra studs are going to create some depth. So much less movement. It's even starting to feel like Vader right away. It's funny. It's a fun way to get blobs to build on higher up. I think it's meant for just like to keep it from being top heavy and having the studs disconnect. If I was to guess. Yeah, I can see that. Depending on the podcast, I can't do something like read or email or things like that. I have to focus on the show, but I'll throw a video podcast on while I'm eating dinner or doing the dishes, or even just, I mean, I listen to audio podcasts all the time. I listen while I'm walking usually. All right, this is the whole thing. That together. Looks like there's a decent amount of studs to plates, at least on his face. I was never sure about the Darth Vader helmet or the Mandalorian helmets because there's a lot of studs on the top. And I usually prefer a mixed finish with Lego builds. Over. Would have been really interesting. It's much more of a sculpture than a construction. So as someone that was designing this at Lego, imagine it was a pretty unique experience. You definitely have to wrap your head around mirroring certain pieces. Because obviously when they're doing a symmetrical build like this, it's very much got like a left and a right. Repeat the process, but reverse it. I'm trying to figure out what part this is. I think it's probably like the bottom of his jaw, maybe? Or his neck plate? Maybe it's his neck plate. Well, that's cool. So the little hinge pieces here that we put on, that's what these claw pieces are for. So yeah, it is his neck plate. Or probably, technically, I think, even though it's in space, it would be, I think it's called the gorget. That's really cool. Provides that like 30-degree angle. Neat. All right, before I move on, I'm at about an hour, I think. So I am going to take a short break. I do this about once an hour. Gives me a chance to refresh my coffee. And you get to chat amongst yourselves for a few minutes. I will be back in just a few to continue with more Lego. Right after I thank Invicta1623 for the follow. Cheers. Be right back. Yeah, I know it started a little bit beyond the first hour. I was having some issues with the NVIDIA codecs were out of date or something for OBS. So when I switched profiles to do my Lego stream, because it's a different camera and it's a different setup, I had to troubleshoot some stuff with OBS before I could go live. All right, this goes across here. I don't know if they're going to go as interesting and cute with the internal colors as they do on the little ones. This is probably going to be more structural and instructional than whimsical, would be my guess. At least the book is laying flat now. Interesting. I wonder why we covered that up. I would imagine that anything that's black is probably exposed at some point. I don't know if those are all supposed to be on the same level. No. Now there is a shape I'm starting to recognize. A very distinct underside of the mask. Turn it around. Oops. Cool. So with these Lego Fridays, if the streams are not super long, I might tag on extra stuff. Like, it would be nice to get back into maybe Core Keeper, or I guess we could always return to Minecraft. But I got Minecraft streams on Saturdays, so with Fridays, it would be nice to try to switch back to something else, like Lego into Satisfactory or something like that. Because sometimes the Lego streams they're short. Sometimes they're like 90 minutes. I don't think that'll be the case today, but oh, interesting. I did not know that this is where this is going to go. That's cool. Okay, there. This goes there on an angle. First sticker. At least it only goes on one way. Probably going to put it on from this way. Out that. Black on black, it's really hard to see. That is not at all in the middle. All right, I think that's pretty good. I might have to switch the playlist. And this goes here. It's a weird stage of the construction for Darth Vader. Hold on. I was looking for something more sci-fi, but this will do. Unfortunately, I have to listen as well, so I can't just put something on for you guys. That builds up like this. I wonder what this is going to be. Just provide something for that to attach to. Cool. And that is the end of bag 1. Page 30. Fabi, thanks for the follow. Lo, you just saw that Netflix is buying Warner Brothers and HBO Max for $82 billion. That's crazy. Wow. Well, at least some of the content that'll come to Netflix will be worth it. My $30-something Netflix subscription. I would love to have a lot of the Warner Brothers and HBO content on Netflix. So for people that don't know, I don't watch any HBO because HBO has an exclusive deal in Canada with Bell, which has the Crave streaming service, and the Crave streaming service is hot garbaggio. I refuse to pay for it. I did for years when we were covering Game of Thrones and stuff, and it's awful. Tried to keep up on like some of the Warner Brothers superhero stuff, and it was such a bad experience that I just boycott it. I would rather rent something. I'd pay to rent something on like Apple TV before I will watch it on Crave. It's such an abysmal streaming experience. And there's no excuse. Bell is like the largest internet provider in the country. So to have crappy service on your streaming service is just, it's lazy is what it is. But Netflix buying HBO and Warner Brothers. Wow. Is that like, that probably has to go through some sort of approval though, right? I mean, in the US these days, they'd approve that. Well, there's a lot of not black pieces. There's a lot of questionable colors. So unlike the Game Boy, these older sets for things like helmets, they're all functional, and there's no real nod to the design of the character. So like, I don't think there's going to be any inner workings of his helmet represented in the Lego construction. Whereas the inside of the Game Boy, it really did look like circuit boards and transistors, and it was really, really well thought out that way. I don't think I've ever seen, I don't know that I've ever built something with purple Lego. I say that, and there could have been pieces like this in the other helmets. I don't remember. It's been years since I built them. Interesting. I wonder what these are going to be used for. I feel like I end up falling into these word patterns when I build Lego, and I say interesting a lot. I become hyper aware that I say it a lot. It's not untrue, but I do feel like I repeat myself a lot. Wow, this is all looking so much the same. It's so hard to pick out individual pieces. This is where knolling out the pieces really does come in handy later on when you're building it, because trying to find the piece that you're looking for in this mess of black is really hard. So I usually separate things out by color and then by size. I find that's usually the most helpful. Lots of these little pieces that are like, I think they were originally gold bars, but now they've come in different colors. And it is absolutely freezing here today. I've got my window open just to kind of get some air going in the studio, and it's minus 13 outside. I think the wind chill is minus 20. And that's, earlier this week, it was 6 degrees. Just complete 180. Winter's like, hold my beer, I'm here early. Where do we even start? It's Celsius low. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. So yeah, it feels like minus 19. That is 2.2 degrees Fahrenheit. So almost 0. Try to set ourselves up for success here. I always get tempted to just use a ruler. I think that's better than last time. The small monitor I have is just on the back of the camera. The camera's pointing straight down, and I've got the screen on the back flipped up so I can see it. But it's like 2 inches wide. Just a few of these are going to be used. I was not expecting this to have so many small pieces like. But I guess in these older sets, sometimes when you want a smooth surface, you've got to use the edge of pieces. Probably one of the reasons why. There's something about the knolling process when it is all the same color that's really satisfying. And I wonder it. for now. Any Lego piece that rolls is always really tricky. Maribel Jade. Pretty much, yeah. I like the knolling process. It's for me it's a way to take what really is an expensive hobby like Lego, and it extends the building process, which means more content, which means, you know, all in all, I think there's just more of the experience, which a buddy of mine is looking at getting the Tudor corner. He likes Star Wars, but he's also into the modular builds. I think it's also something daughter. But while it takes a fair amount of time, it really does save a lot of frustrating hunting for pieces. Now, what am I going to do? Anything that's 3 tall over here? Don't. Well, sort of. Oh, these would have fit there too. Start these back over here. I've thought about picking up more Technic sets, but they don't tend to be more play sets. Although some of the, if I was a car guy, the cars are really cool. The Technic McLaren is is neat. Although Technic stuff is also really expensive. Once Lego starts to get into like the $200 to $300 range, it becomes a decision. Can I really afford this? Should I really be buying this? And I've got the excuse that it's part of my job. I feel like this has been the same song on loop. For folks watching later on YouTube, on Joel Duggan VODs, there's no music on YouTube. But during the live stream, I like to have some background music going. And lately it's been like this lo-fi stuff on YouTube. Hard to find stuff that's sort of sci-fi or more futuristic. Yeah, this is just on loop. Let's try something different. No idea what this is going to be like. It does look like there's different tracks, though, at least. Would probably be better down here. I say that, and it doesn't matter at all. But I forgot about these. Why don't we do So finicky. I normally don't think this hard about this stuff. Something today just says, make it tidy. And Lego's like, nope, we're going to give you 7, not 6. 6 would be easy, Joel. There are definitely times when I just want to grab the clump and be just like, good enough. All right, I'm calling that a win. Lances, it's been a while since I've seen one of those pieces. Yeah, we were saying that earlier. It's like, what are we going to use those for? My guess is that they like poke through and show up as some sort of like spiky bit. Oh, I completely missed Ray. Whoops. Anybody have any video games that they're looking forward to playing over the holidays? Provided that you get a bit of a break. I still think I might pick up Dispatch. Heard lots of good things. And at this point, it's all out, I think. We just bought multiple copies of Stardew Valley and started playing co-op with husband and youngest child. Husband has never played before, so he's learning the joy of early game fishing. Oh boy. I tried Stardew. It was not for me. I find it's funny, like I like games like Stardew, but I have there's something very specific about a game like Satisfactory is my favorite factory builder, but I've tried others and they just don't grab me in the same way that Satisfactory does. I think some of it has to do with the speed at which you can progress in a game. Satisfactory is a little slow at the start, but it opens up quite quickly. A real good spot to put these things. The real pain is going to be when I need to grab these, and they're all going to be pieces that I need to jump way inside the structure to grab. All right, that only took forever. There's definitely been large Lego kits where I get a little sick of of the knolling. When it's a really big bag, I'd much prefer 12 smaller bags. page 30, I think, right? And actually, I know I'm a little ahead of it, but I think I might take another break. Just so that I don't have to interrupt the building in like 10 minutes. So again, folks, I do this once an hour. Gives me a chance to just grab another drink. You can grab a stretch, tell a friend about the stream. If you're watching this later on YouTube, on Joel Duggan VODs, then leave a like if you enjoy this video, and maybe check out some of the other stuff on the channel as well. I would really appreciate it, and I'll be right back. Goonie Katie says we'll be traveling to Florida for Christmas to visit family. My son will be taking his Switch, so maybe I'll try some Minecraft on it during our 13-hour trip. Holy crap. There's some good titles on Switch. I played the new Mario Kart. My sister and her family are into it. Stardew Valley can go from 0 to 60 really fast if you've played it before, or you can go at a snail's pace. Yeah, for me, it just wasn't fast enough. Modulus has got a new demo out. There's also, Big Helmet Heroes is on sale on Steam right now. I might see if it's on sale on Xbox. Starting off strong. Click. I have to bookmark this this YouTube channel. It's pretty good. Just for background. This can just hang out here, I guess. Little green pieces for measurement. Oh, it's actually meant for angling this piece, I guess. Interesting. Allows that piece to swivel. I did it again. I said interesting as a response to Lego design. I'm so particular about the way that Lego pieces go together too. Like, I'll straighten stuff out or put it at a certain angle, even if it's going to be inside the build and it'll never be seen. I'm not sure what angle these are supposed to be at. I'm sure that will become clear later. What an ugly color. Not my favorite. Wonder why these are round. I do enjoy that process of building a Lego set where once you're familiar enough with the fact that they usually have a reason for things, you end up coming up with questions like, wait a minute, it's obviously a round piece on purpose. Maybe not. Who knows? Only to cover it up with a square piece. All right, there's that. I've been watching a lot of reactors on YouTube. Aurelia is really good, and Wally Wally is really good, and they're watching some movies that I would have thought that people would have seen, but there's that cusp of people that are just a little bit younger, and they were just too young when some really classic movies came out. Like, for example, Lord of the Rings. I mean, some people haven't seen Lord of the Rings just because they've never been into fantasy, and now they're just trying it out, and it's a must watch. But then there's also people that were just like, they were 4, and now they're adults on YouTube doing reaction videos. Or even if you were 6 or 10, you might not have gone to go see it, right? So it's really cool to see people react to stuff like that for the first time. And those are movies that hold up. What's really interesting is seeing people that grew up on modern movies and then going back and watching some older sci-fi and stuff. And one of the comments I thought was so interesting is that so much of it is the older movies are so much more colorful. Everything modern is so gray. And the Snyderverse is an example of that. But like, man, they're so right. You go back and watch something like a Harry Potter film or the older Star Wars, and there's definitely color, even in like grim sci-fi. All right, now how on earth am I gonna do this? I think that's pretty straight. Thankfully, there's only 4 stickers in this whole thing. Usually Star Wars, you get stuck with a lot of stickers. Could have been a little bit better. Not bad. That's obviously the face mask. Now we know what that is. Everyone hold your breath. I do. I absolutely hold my breath. That's why I'm not talking when I do that. Crap. Everything's messed up. Start over. Two of those. I'm glad I switched playlists. I picked up The Witcher 3, having not played any Witcher games, on Xbox for like $6 or something. And I also have access via Game Pass to Hogwarts Legacy. And that was a cool start. I only played the intro, but the combat in Hogwarts is similar to like Batman Arkham City, which is cool. I was not expecting it to be that robust. Oh, fun. This connects over here. You can see that triangle piece. Why is that crooked? Something is not. There we go. Awesome. You know, you forget, having been so familiar with it, just how iconic Darth Vader's helmet really is. These little purple pieces that are just finding their way into the inside is pretty funny. What else have I got on my list right now? For gaming. I wanted to try something new for streaming, but I haven't really had much of a chance to look into new things. I do think it'll be good for Satisfactory to get back into that with a new video card, but at the same time, I'm waiting for Satisfactory to come out with 1.2. I don't think there's much point in messing around because they're changing the way that fluids work. So I feel like it's probably better to wait until that updates. And who knows when that's going to happen. I do have No Man's Sky, but I kind of fell off. A lot of the games right now that would push the video card are not necessarily my type of game. Like I'm not into extraction shooters, and that seems to be what's super popular right now. Interesting little construction. Very specific height for those. One plate lower than a regular block. Or higher, I guess. Now we know where all these 4x1 plates are going. They seem to be building up the side of his helmet. And then some parts in the front. The last purple piece. Yeah, the back of his head has got all kinds of wild colors. Goes there. I missed a step. This goes here. Huh. I wonder why they've got these such specific pieces that look like they're going to get covered up again. guess that might be exposed. Back over. Right. It looked like it wasn't sitting straight, but it is. It's just that this is higher than that side. So weird. It looked like it was tilting towards me. Yeah, there's no reason for these colors other than just being able to easily see what you're doing. Oh, now we're doing some front stuff. Really unique little pieces like this. That's his, like the cheek, I guess. You know, like the bottom of the, yeah, I guess you could call it a cheek, or the muzzle of his face mask. That's cool. These are the little surprises that I like in Lego sets like this. And you can see how those little bar pieces really add to it. Upside down. Wow. Oh. How does that connect? Oh, I'm missing a step. That's really cool. So this goes up inside the hollow stud that's on top of this one. And this connects upside down. That is really cool. Huh. Don't see stuff like this in Lego very often. I don't recall any time I've ever built stuff where pieces get flipped upside down. I do want to say that this whole left side feels like it's somehow smushed. I don't think anything's wrong. Hello, thanks ever so much for being here. Appreciate it. No Man's Sky has changed a lot, I agree, and it is for the better, but the amount of change is overwhelming. And then we need the pin. This will eliminate the wobble. Goes on. Looks like it's flush with the back. These just go. This goes down through the middle. And it connects there. Doesn't really have much for studs that it's connecting to. Yep, there's something off here. Oh, for starters, Joel, don't put it on that way. Whoops. That's fun. Right. And then this through here. No more wobble. Very, very sturdy. This obviously flips up. That's a cool way to do that. Why is that not straight? Oh, I see. That's pretty cool. Oh, it doesn't look like a whole lot from above. Who does the Krampus thing? I don't know. I'm not even familiar with what the Krampus is. Like, I've heard of it. I thought it was a horror movie. If you want a really fun, offbeat Christmas short, look up All Through the House, which was a second season. I think it was a second season. Love, Death, and Robots short. That was very funny. In a creepy Christmas way. Now we're back to being symmetrical, and Joel is happy. I have to say, some of this has been more interesting than I thought it was going to be. This attaches to the side. Oh, wow. That's very cool. Keeps that in line too. Oh, someone was asking about the lances. We now get to know that's what these angled for. Put it up, attach it in here. It goes all the way to the end. That's where they go. I don't like how movable the bottom jaw is. I'd like to try to keep that steady if I can. That's really cool. I was not expecting this. That's a strange but cool looking piece. I guess that's just... I'd have to look at a reference of his actual face mask. I don't remember there being types like this, but I could be wrong. There's also a big gap here at the back, which is interesting. So the idea with this ball joint is that you can now angle that down, point towards this piece. It's neat. Definitely at the stage of the build where big hands are becoming a problem. Goes over here. This is one of the cooler things, I think. Like the shape of his face from the front really changes when you add this side here. Does it have studs on it? No. There is something really strange about, like, things are starting to lean in, which is weird. You'd think that they would stack a little bit more straight. Who? Always on in those that design these sets, how many how they imagine bits and use them in different ways. Yeah, it's a real, your spatial and shape analysis as a human just has to be really good. I mean, they also, I'm sure they design them in a CAD program, but still, like you really have to have a good idea of how shapes line up. The other thing which would come with time, I think, would be learning the different heights of pieces and how they line up, what you need to do in order to connect, you know, have things line up the way that you want. That's really cool. You can see that. Now we get to find out where the green pieces go. This is probably the back of the head, maybe. Oh wow, it really builds it out. I was not anticipating that. Oh, I thought that was going to be the back, but it's like the back of the neck. It is tricky when you get into these sets that don't have, like when you're doing side connections, it's really hard to find a place to put pressure. I think that's good. Oh crap. That's interesting space. I wonder what that's going to be used for. Cool. I feel like this is a lot of pieces left over. I know that's okay. These are probably fine. This is concerning. I feel like I missed something. No, I feel like that's all right. Wouldn't have missed anything there. I guess we just have spares. Oh, did I not? I wonder if I didn't put those in. That goes on the very bottom. No way to tell. I'd have to go back on the video. Just wondering if I missed these little guys, which is possible. That is... no. I think those are there. I mean, if I missed them, you can't tell. Unless that's the space right there that they're supposed to be on. Where do those line up later? Right behind the thing. You know what? Yeah, I did. I missed them. Can I get that in there? All right, I'll sort that out in between streams. Yep. These little two guys go in these little spaces here. Whoops. Not the end of the world, but definitely something I'll want to fix. Anyway. That's the Darth Vader helmet so far. Not bad. That was a fun little build. Folks, I am going to wrap things up there. I'm not staring at my playlist, so I don't know who is going to be the person I pass you along to, but we will send a raid. If you have suggestions in the chat, please feel to fire them in there. I would appreciate it. I can send you on to somebody playing Minecraft or something similar, some sort of building game. Usually that's where we tend to roll. You can, of course, follow me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. I'm all Joel Duggan. Very, very easy to find. I do post clips from the stream on TikTok. It's a great way to share the stream around if you want to share it with some friends. Patreon is a great way to support me. You can check out patreon.com/JoelDuggan. It's less than $2 a month, and it helps me support myself here in the studio, pick up more Lego sets to build with y'all and have a good time. You can listen to the free podcasts that are out there. The Spawn Chunks and the Citadel Cafe. The Citadel Cafe is recording episode 500 next week. That's going to be recording live in the Discord, so that will be fun to check out. We'll be back next Friday with more Lego, and I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock Atlantic with Minecraft, and then back again on Tuesday with more Minecraft. And tomorrow and the next couple weeks are going to be busy because we've got extra recordings of the Spawn Chunks coming up. So bear with me as I may have to shift some streams around next week. I will let you know ahead of time if I can. Thanks ever so much for the support today. Thanks for the moderation, Sandy. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all next time. Bye for now.